The gym was loud with impact. Bodies slammed into mats. Gloves cracked against ribs. Ropes shook as wrestlers launched themselves into the air. Sweat hung thick in the heat above the ring lights. This was not a place for weakness. Caleb Wright stood at the edge of the training floor, gripping his gym bag like a shield. He had trained for years in abandoned warehouses, lifting scrap metal, running stairs until his lungs burned. But this place was different. This was the Apex Wrestling Academy where careers were made, or destroyed. The laughter came quickly. Who invited the kid? He looks lost. He won't last a week. Caleb swallowed and stepped forward anyway. Across the gym, Maya Storm finished her drills. Her movements were precise, powerful, almost effortless. Every strike landed clean. Every flip looked perfect. She was the undefeated champion of the league, respected, feared, untouchable. When she dropped from the ropes, the room instinctively gave her space. Caleb didn't even know she existed. Not yet. Coach Marcus barked orders and immediately threw Caleb into a sparring session against a larger opponent. The result was brutal. Caleb was slammed again and again. His breath was knocked out of him. His arms shook as he tried to rise. Laughter echoed. "Stay down, rookie." But Caleb pushed himself back up. And that was when Maya noticed him. Not because he was strong, but because he refused to stay broken. That night, long after most of the gym lights were off, Caleb remained. He wrapped his wrists with trembling hands and practiced alone, throwing clumsy punches at empty air. "You drop your shoulder too early." The voice startled him. He turned to see Maya standing near the ropes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." "I wasn't asking you to leave," she said calmly. "Do it again." She corrected his footing, adjusted his posture, showed him how to breathe through impact. Their hands brushed once, accidentally. Both pulled away quickly. From that night on, their secret training began. No one knew. No one was supposed to. Caleb started winning quietly. At first, it was small victories, opening matches where the crowd barely looked up from their phones. Then it became mid-card bouts, where his name appeared on posters in smaller print. With every win, his confidence grew. His movements sharpened. His fear learned how to hide. And through it all, Maya watched. She never stood too close. Never spoke to him in public longer than necessary. Their secret training continued late at night, long after the lights dimmed and the echoes of the gym faded into silence. She pushed him harder now. No mercy. No soft corrections. "You hesitate when you doubt yourself," she said one night as he gasped for breath on the mat. In the ring, doubt is an invitation to be destroyed. "I won't hesitate," Caleb said, pulling himself up again. She nodded once. Approval, rare and quiet. What Caleb didn't know was that the higher he climbed, the more visible he became. And visibility always attracts wolves. Rex Kane returned without warning. One day, his face was suddenly everywhere, on banners, on social feeds, on screens above the ring. A former champion. A ruthless tactician. A man whose victories were legendary and whose temper was whispered about in locker rooms. When Caleb first saw him in person, Rex was laughing with management near the main office. Tall. Broad-shouldered. Calm in a way that felt dangerous. When Rex's eyes drifted across the gym and landed on Caleb, the smile tightened slightly. Like a hunter identifying movement in tall grass. Their first interaction happened in passing. Caleb exited the locker room after a workout and nearly collided with him. Rex didn't move. Caleb stepped back quickly. "Sorry." Rex glanced him up and down. "You're the kid they've been whispering about." Caleb stiffened. "Just doing my job, sir." Rex smiled thinly. "This isn't a job. It's territory." Then he walked past. From that moment on, the pressure changed. Caleb's matches grew harder. Opponents fought dirtier. Referees suddenly missed obvious fouls. Backstage, whispers followed him like shadows. "He's getting pushed too fast. He doesn't belong this high. He's only getting attention because of her." At first, Caleb ignored it. Until the rumors found a face. One afternoon, He caught sight of Maya speaking quietly with Rex near the loading dock. They stood close enough that from a distance, it could be misread. Rex leaned slightly toward her. She crossed her arms, her expression unreadable. Caleb felt something twist in his chest. That night, his performance was off. He missed a timing cue. Took a hard fall. Barely escaped with a win. In the locker room afterward, his hands wouldn't stop shaking. "You're distracted." Maya stood in the doorway, arms folded. "Just tired," he answered too quickly. She studied him. "You weren't tired when you fought injured last month." The silence stretched. "I saw you with Rex," Caleb said finally. Her eyes narrowed just a fraction. "He threatened you, didn't he?" Caleb looked at the floor. That wasn't an answer. It felt like avoidance. "Be careful," she said after a moment. "Not everyone who smiles at you wants you to succeed." Then she left. And the doubt stayed behind. The messages started a week later. Anonymous photos. Blurry at first. Then clearer. Screenshots of conversations that looked like Maya arranging meetings with Rex. Words twisted into accusations. A rumor spread that the champion was aligning herself with the returning king. And worse, that she had been guiding Caleb only to sacrifice him. Caleb didn't want to believe it. But doubt is patient. It grows slowly, feeding on silence. He tried to talk to her again, but their schedules never aligned. When he waited by the gym door, she was already gone. When he approached her at events, officials always seemed to intercept him. Rex, on the other hand, was suddenly everywhere. "You look tense, kid," Rex said one evening, appearing beside him at the vending machines. "Fame does that. Makes people disappear." Caleb said nothing. Rex leaned back against the wall. "You know, I've been where you are. Rising too fast. People love to build someone up, just to enjoy the sound of the fall." "What do you want?" Caleb asked. Rex considered him. "Truth. The business kind." Then he walked away, leaving the words hanging like smoke. The night before the biggest match of Caleb's career, the official #1contender qualifier, everything finally broke. Caleb found Maya alone in the practice ring. The gym was empty except for the two of them. The air felt heavy. "Were you ever going to tell me?" he asked. She turned slowly. "Tell you what?" "That you were working with him." Her jaw tightened. "I was never working with Rex. The photos say otherwise." "They were lies." "The messages?" "Forged." "You expect me to believe that?" "Yes," she said simply. "Because I've never lied to you." Caleb's chest tightened. "You never told me the truth either. For your protection. Or for your convenience." The words hurt the moment they left his mouth. Maya stepped back slightly, as if struck. "I fought to keep you out of his reach. And yet he's everywhere in my path." Silence crashed between them. Caleb's voice dropped. "Did you train me to build me up, or to feed me to him?" Her eyes filled, not with tears, but with something harder. Disappointment. "I trained you because you refused to stay down." He shook his head slowly. "Then why does it feel like you're standing on the other side now?" She reached for him instinctively. He stepped back. And that single step changed everything. Caleb left the gym that night with his trust in pieces. The arena was already roaring when Caleb felt the first sign that something had gone wrong. It wasn't fear. It was absence. No choreography meeting. No timing walkthrough. No safety briefing. Behind the curtain, dressed and ready, Caleb waited for the usual instructions. Instead, the head producer burst toward him, face pale, tablet shaking in his hands. "We're pulling the script," the man whispered urgently. Rex refused rehearsal. Refused choreography. Management tried to shut this down an hour ago. Caleb's heart thudded. So what's the plan? The producer swallowed. There is no plan. The weight of that landed like a blow to the chest. Security? Caleb asked. On standby. But if they rush the ring too early, the audience will riot. Sponsors are already breathing down our necks. Caleb understood immediately. This wasn't wrestling anymore. This was survival wrapped in spectacle. And Maya, he asked. The producer hesitated. Security blocked her backstage. She showed up with something, kept screaming that Rex was lying. Before Caleb could respond, Rex's entrance music detonated through the speakers. The crowd erupted. The producer leaned closer and whispered the last thing Caleb would hear before stepping through the curtain. "Protect yourself." Smoke flooded the ramp. Lights fractured across the arena. Rex emerged through the haze like a conquering king, arms raised, eyes cold, soaking in the screams of the crowd that had no idea what they were cheering for. Caleb stepped out next. The noise hit him like a physical force. He moved on instinct alone, walking the ramp, eyes locked on the ring. Somewhere deep inside, doubt tried to rise again, but something stronger crushed it. If this was real, then he would be real too. The referee leaned in as Caleb entered the ring, voice trembling. "This isn't rehearsed," he whispered. "If it turns ugly, I stop it." Rex laughed softly from across the ring. "You won't." The bell rang. Rex attacked instantly. No pacing. No build. No restraint. A knee slammed into Caleb's ribs with bone-cracking force. A real strike. A dangerous one. Caleb hit the mat hard. Too hard. The impact punched the breath from his lungs and left white lightning flashing behind his eyes. The crowd roared in approval. They thought it was part of the show. Rex grabbed him by the jaw and dragged him up. "They won't stop this," Rex murmured. "Because money is louder than blood." A punch cracked across Caleb's face. Pain exploded. Real pain. Not the controlled burn of performance, but the raw shock of violence. Caleb staggered. Rex was smiling. Backstage, the producers were already shouting. Medics tried to push toward the curtain and were held back by security. "If we stop it now, everyone will know," someone yelled. "And if we don't," another voice replied, "we might lose him on live television." In the ring, Rex was no longer pretending. Every strike was heavy. Every slam carried intent. Caleb fought back on instinct, not with planned counters, but with survival-driven reactions. The crowd reacted wildly, unaware they were watching something unscripted unfold in front of them. Then Rex leaned in again. "You really believed her," he said. "That was your mistake." The words hit harder than the blows. Caleb's confidence wavered for half a second. It was enough. Rex drove him into the turnbuckle with enough force to shake the ropes. Caleb slid down the pads, struggling to breathe. Rex dragged him back up and hurled him across the ring like a discarded body. The referee hesitated, then began counting for real. 1, 2. Caleb's shoulder barely lifted in time. The silence that followed was wrong. The crowd was starting to feel it now. Something wasn't adding up. Then a scream cut through the arena. "Stop the match." Every head turned. Maya stood at the top of the entrance ramp, breathless, hair disheveled, holding a small flash drive high above her head. Security rushed toward her. She broke free and ran. Not for drama. For him. The screens flickered violently. The broadcast feed jammed. Then the footage appeared. Side-by-side comparisons. Message manipulations. Audio splice timelines. Proof stacked on proof. The lies collapsed in real time. The whisper that swept through the arena was no longer excitement. It was shock. Rex stood frozen. Maya's voice cracked but did not break. He forged everything. The messages. The voice clips. The meetings. He wanted Caleb isolated, unstable, doubting himself. Rex backed toward the ropes. "You can't prove." "You taught me how," she said. "You forgot I was watching." The referee turned toward Rex slowly. The crowd realized all at once. This wasn't storyline. This was exposure. Rex lunged for Maya. Caleb moved. Pain vanished beneath instinct. He intercepted Rex mid-step, driving his shoulder into Rex's chest and slamming him backward into the mat. The crowd exploded as the fight turned savage. Rex tried to regain control, but his rhythm was broken now, not by choreography, but by truth. Caleb mounted him. Strike. 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 Every hit carried months of confusion, betrayal, and doubt. Rex fought back wildly, managing to shove Caleb off and scramble upright, but his confidence was gone. The predator had become the hunted. Rex swung recklessly. Caleb slipped under the blow and locked his grip. Lifted. And drove Rex straight into the canvas with everything his body had left. The impact shook the ring. Both men lay still. The referee hesitated, then dropped. 1, 2. Rex kicked out. The crowd roared, not with cheers, but with disbelief. Caleb pushed to his knees, vision blurring. Across from him, Rex dragged himself up using the ropes. They stood unsteadily, blooded, exhausted, locked in mutual defiance. No more lies. No more manipulation. They collided again in the center of the ring in a brutal final exchange. Strikes flew. Neither man backed down. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't controlled. It was raw. Rex overcommitted. Caleb caught him. Lifted. And slammed him down one final time. The referee counted with shaking hands. 1, 2, 3. The bell rang late. Confused. Urgent. Security flooded the ring instantly. Rex screamed as they restrained him. Not in rage. In panic. Real handcuffs clicked shut. The referee raised Caleb's arm, but his voice trembled as he spoke. This match is officially ruled and sanctioned. The arena went silent. Then erupted louder than ever. Caleb barely registered the noise. His eyes were already on Maya. She stood at the edge of the ring, hands trembling, unsure if he would even look at her. Blood streaked his jaw. His body shook with exhaustion. Caleb moved toward her slowly. Not as a hero. As a man who had nearly broken. "Maya," he said hoarsely.
"I tried," she whispered. "I never stopped choosing you." He reached for her hand. This time, she didn't hesitate. When their hands met, the noise around them faded into background echo. No kiss. No speech. No victory pose. Just contact. Just truth. Above them, the screens shut down. The broadcast ended early, and somewhere between what was scripted and what was real, a career was reborn not through spectacle, but through survival. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more unscripted wrestling stories.